Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, and this is a very quick live. I'm not going to have time to say hello to people or anything. I just wanted to give you this news that's just come to me. Somebody's just sent me this newspaper article. And this is very sad, I think, because, we've been following the John George case. John was... seems like he's from Northern Ireland, 37 years old, father of two. Seems like he may have been, we don't know the whole circumstances yet, but he may have been lured over to Spain under some pretext. And then while he was here in Spain, in Alicante, he was brutally murdered and just discarded in a sort of lemon grove. Anyway, finally he was found. Now, we followed this case, didn't we? It's very, very sad. His family came out to look for him because they wanted to take him home. They seemed to already know that he was deceased or something had happened to him for whatever reason. And they'd been given some information that he was deceased. Let me take my banner off, actually. And... yeah, finally he was found. Again, it's not clear. Was he found because somebody gave the police that information about where he was, or did the police find him? I don't think any of it's still clear because this is an investigation in Spain. It's secret. The Guardia won't be giving any information away. Now, in the meantime, somebody was arrested and released on bail. Somebody else was supposed to go and give a statement. I don't know what happened to that. It all seemed to fade into nothing. And there is a warrant out for someone's arrest. The police have not released the name of the person whose arrest, who the arrest warrant is for. There are, in fact, 3 arrest warrants for this person. A domestic, a local sort of arrest warrant, a national arrest warrant, and an international arrest warrant. But although there's lots of speculation, and there'll be speculation in this article that I'm going to read to you now about who that person is, it has never actually been confirmed by the Guardia themselves, the name of the person. Anyway, so you can imagine how this is for John George's family, and especially Billy George, his dad. Suspect he's tormented. I mean, he's at least been able to take his son home and bury him. They've been able to have a service for him. But they were looking for justice now, aren't they? They're looking for justice for John, that whoever the person was who did this to John, and the accomplices, anyone who's complicit in it in any way, should receive justice. And that's fair enough. I think, any parent would want that. So anyway, this is a story that has come out in the Sunday papers in Ireland. But I want to stress, before I even start reading it, that this arrest of Billy George, apparently, according to this newspaper, it was a little while ago. In fact, I think it was did they say, let's have a look. They did say a date. 27th of February. So we are now, if you're watching this live, we are now on the 9th of March. So this happened a little while ago. So I just want to stress that right from the beginning. And let's see what it says. Or just say, actually, I haven't got time to say hello to people because I've only got very little time to make this video. So John George's dad arrested after confronting the mum of the man who police want to quiz over his son's murder. Now, quite a lot on the Facebook pages, etc., on various social media accounts, etc. This person has been named in... This actual newspaper is naming the person who they say allegedly is wanted for the murder of John George. But I just have to stipulate this we don't know that that is even the person that's the arrest warrant's out for. Well, I haven't heard it from the police, but it could be. Everyone seems to think it is. Is it? So anyway, so we can reveal, they say, Billy George was caught on CCTV at the Ballyclare home of Dawn Smith, the mum of Johnny Smith, the Belfast gym owner who has vanished in the aftermath of the murder. Now, we knew that, Billy and the family, they were putting things out on social media about this person and his mum. And that obviously is Billy George, and that is Dawn Smith. It's a very difficult issue, isn't it? Because I imagine, as far as Billy's concerned, of course, this is his son he's talking about. What would you do if you thought somebody had murdered your son? Would you go and do this, or would you leave it to the police? It seems to be taking so long, doesn't it? John George, or John Hardy, as he's also known, his body was found in January, and since then he's been put to rest in Northern Ireland, but nobody has been held accountable yet for his murder. Nobody's been charged with murder. And I would imagine for a father or a mother or any of his family and friends, that must be very difficult, mustn't it? And they're wondering, why has no arrest been made? Well, I don't know the answer to that. Now, as far as Dawn Smith is concerned, if this is her son who's done this, and some of the things that family have been saying about that she's complicit, or that she knew about it, that she's been helping him hide, I don't know that either. You've got to be very careful, haven't you, what you accuse people of. So anyway, this is what the Sunday World, which is an Irish newspaper, says. This was sent me by someone I know from, who is Irish and has obviously seen it, because I hadn't seen it. Grieving dad Billy George was arrested by cops after he confronted the mother of a man Spanish cops want to speak to about his son's murder. He went to a place of work in Carrickfergus, and there was a further confrontation with staff there. And we can confirm he was arrested, and he accepted a community resolution notice for assault, requiring him to sign a document which includes the words, "I admit I am guilty of this offence." He, like the rest of the George family, are desperately seeking answers and ultimately justice, and they believe Johnny Smith may have information relating to John's death, and he should hand himself into the police. So this is Dawn's son, Johnny, and maybe he does have him. I don't know why he hasn't handed himself into the police, actually, because he should do, for just get it over with. You can't live the rest of your life on the run, can you? But Billy George turning up at the home of Smith's mum has shocked people. Is this a video, or is this? I don't know if that's a... We can reveal that the 55-year-old campaigning dad remonstrated with Dawn Smith for several minutes at her luxury home before being told to leave. But there was further confrontation when he went straight to her workplace. Waiting for him there was his other son, John's brother Darren, who was not arrested by police. And it has been claimed there was a heated exchange of words between Billy George and staff at that premises. Police were called and complaints made about both incidents. So you can see that is Billy on that picture. So last night, the PSNI confirmed they had arrested a 55-year-old man on suspicion of assault, harassment and disorderly behaviour. And they told the Sunday World, that's the police, the PSNI, a 55-year-old man was arrested in the Larne Road area of Carrickfergus on Thursday February the 27th, so a little while ago now, on suspicion of common assault, harassment and disorderly behaviour. He has since been issued with a community resolution notice for common assault. The Sunday World contacted Dawn Smith to ask her about the incidents, but she did not respond to our requests. Now, I think from what I can gather, I mean, I try not to follow like all these kind of things. To me, there's a police investigation going on, and the police have to deal with it one way or another. You know, Johnny really should go to the Guardia and tell them what he knows. And, you know, otherwise, what's he going to do? Hide away forever? Anyway, last night, Billy George confirmed he had gone to the home of Miss Smith and to her workplace, but he claimed he was within his rights to do so, given the circumstances of his son's murder. It must be very difficult not to confront, you know, I mean, I just can't imagine how it feels like if your son's murdered. It'd be very difficult, wouldn't it, if you think someone is, you know, knows something. If you think somebody knows something, it's difficult, I would imagine, as a father. You know, you would be beside yourself with grief, and I don't know, but because you shouldn't. I mean, the thing is, you shouldn't go. Of course you shouldn't. And I'm sure now he won't be doing it again. I have noticed on both on his Facebook page and the Justice for John George Facebook page, is very little being talked about now, whereas before it was all, you know, there were a lot of accusations against Johnny Smith's family, but, you know, at the end of the day, it can prejudice a trial as well. That's what worries me, is, you know, spreading someone's name around social media, etc. When it comes to the trial, is a defense lawyer then going to say, oh, well, he can't possibly have a fair trial because, you know, all this was going on social media? He also made a number of allegations, according to the Sunday World, which we can't print for legal reasons. He said, yes, I did go to Dawn Smith's house. Yes, I did go to her business. I was arrested and I did get a caution. So, yeah, he disappeared. Poor John, disappeared in December in the Alicante area, and his remains were found in January, following extensive appeals from the family and friends who travelled out to search for his body. But, you know, it's important to say it wasn't the family or the friends that found John George's body. They had, in fact, been given the wrong place to search. They were searching in the wrong place. It was heartbreaking, actually, seeing them every day all over Christmas and New Year as well, going out searching for, you know, Billy's searching for his dead son, basically. And it turns out they were searching in completely the wrong place. And in the end, it was the Guardia phoned them up and said that John had been found. And now whether that was somebody told the Guardia where he was, or whether the Guardia found him or somebody happened upon him, I don't know. So the father of two had been shot, and don't forget, he'd also been stabbed in the leg as well. So he'd been stabbed, he'd been shot, and his body was left in a rural area in the Alicante region sometime around December the 14th. So what this newspaper has said, that Johnny Smith is wanted by Spanish police investigating the murder, but we haven't, you know, I don't think that's been confirmed by the police themselves that it is Johnny. It's somebody is wanted. This arrest warrant is out for someone, but the Spanish police haven't named him. So where is he, you know, and why doesn't he just go forward? John George's body was repatriated to Northern Ireland on January the 16th, and his funeral took place on February the 1st. But the family remained determined to fight for justice. They're desperate for 26-year-old Johnny Smith to hand himself into the authorities in Spain and to tell them what he knows. And after John disappeared, the George family campaigned for information about what happened to them. A social media war of words, and this is really where I don't like social media, because I'm sure you've seen some of it, and it's like creators should not get involved in criminal cases in that sense. I don't think, it's nothing to do with them. At the end of the day, this is for the police to sort out. And if one day whoever did whatever they did to John is going to be found guilty and real justice is going to be given, it should not be prejudicing. I refer to the family as well with that, but I do understand the family doing that more because they're emotionally invested. This is their brother, their son, etc. But so I don't believe that content creators should get involved in it who don't even know John George. So that war of words has turned increasingly bitter, with claim and counterclaim being made by supporters of both sides. And last week it turned particularly violent when 2 arson attacks were carried out. One at the Ballyclare home of Dawn Smith and another at the home of an elderly relative of Johnny Smith's 19-year-old partner, Madison Allen. So that's a no-no, isn't it? The arson attack at Dawn Smith's residence, which saw a silver transit van burnt out, took place a day after Billy George visited her. There it is now, of course, and the newspaper is saying there's no suggestion that Billy was involved in this, that Billy George had any involvement or knowledge of the attack. So, it's all turning, it was ugly anyway. Murder is ugly, but it seems to be taking a very even more downward turn. And it's a shame because really, at the heart of this, John George was murdered. Don't want another murder, do we? We don't want even an accidental one or something happening. It's all about now justice for John, isn't it? But I know obviously emotions are running high, and Dawn Smith has stated on social media she doesn't know whether her son is, but that she has spoken to his solicitor. But this has been questioned by some who follow her on TikTok. Was this like the jury of TikTok, for God's sake? When asked about why she flew to Spain after John was murdered, she said this week, "I flew out on flights booked on November the 5th. I have nothing to hide, I can assure you. If I knew where he was, do you honestly think I would not stop all this?" Seriously, catch yourself on. And she posted previously after coming under attack about her parenting. "Listen, he's a grown man. Anyone who knows me knows my kids were well taken care of. I worked hard to provide for them. I didn't sit on a platform claiming DLA, so F off, I'm not in the mood." So here's Johnny with his mum. Is that a birthday cake with a gun on it? Okay. So she has been the target of abuse on social media, but it's not the first time someone has called to her private home. After John vanished, Dawn's home was visited by domestic abuser James Burns. Now, bear in mind, this is the newspaper saying this, the Sunday World, not me. I don't know James Burns. I don't know if he's a domestic abuser or not. But do you feel like this newspaper is sort of stirring things up, isn't it? And we revealed last week he's facing a charge of possessing cocaine and an offensive weapon after he brought a hammer to a hospital and told cops it was in case he was attacked by Muslims. Burns filmed himself at Dawn Smith's house, posting the video on TikTok. So back to TikTok again. Come on. TikTok is not the place for this kind of thing. And he can be heard demanding for John's body to be returned to the family. Burns has been a prominent campaigner for the George family, and he was behind a protest at Johnny Smith's North Belfast gym in December. Well, that's fair enough, isn't it? The protest campaigning for John to be brought home, etc., is good, you know, but I think there's too much TikTok going on with this, too much. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think really, unless anything else, you know, when maybe the court case comes up or whatever, or whether the police, till the police release anything, you know, it's probably better just for the justice for John that everything gets sort of dialed down a little bit, the emotion. And I know that's difficult for a family, and for a father who's lost his son, it's probably nearly impossible. But for justice for John, it needs to happen, really, doesn't it? So as revealed last week, Burns has been in and out of prison for serious offending, including rioting and a series of domestic abuse convictions, according to this paper. He told courts before how he served with the commandos in Afghanistan and was significantly traumatized by the events he witnessed there. In 2015, he was jailed for St. Patrick's Day attacks on police, smashing his mother's car. The thug, I mean, they're not mincing their words about this guy. The thug headbutted one of the 5 officers it took to restrain him after they were called to his family home in Newton Abbey. And in 2012, Burns damaged 9 vans and a lorry at a dealership after rowing with his girlfriend. And 2 years ago, he was convicted of breaching a restraining order, taken out by his ex-partner after he called her on the phone. So it's all turning a little bit sort of, well, ugly, to be honest, isn't it? At the end of the day, this man is dead. And if, you know, really just want whoever did it to be held to account, you know, that's, and then trouble is, you know, somebody kills your son, I don't know how you would be. You would be angry, wouldn't you? But you have to let the police deal with it. That's just the way it is. So, you know, and he's had, yeah, you're right, David, because Billy has had 2 heart attacks as well himself. And, you know, he needs to be still around. He's got other children, you know, he's got 2 other he's got 2 daughters and another son, and he needs to be around for them. He's, as hard as it must be, and I should imagine it's pretty impossible, he does need to let the police deal with it. So, anyway, so I just thought I would let you know, give you the update, and yeah. So let me know, as always, what you think in comments. I'm sure you all will. I hope you're all well. Oh, there you go. There's a dog barking. So I'll see you really soon in the next video. Sorry it's short but sweet, but I've got to go. And yeah, till I see you again, may your God go with you. Bye.